They told me I'd have both of them tonight. Two alphas, identical faces, dangerous smiles. I should have run the second those words left their mouths. Should have told them to go straight to hell and walked out of that penthouse with whatever dignity I had left. But I didn't, because my baby brother was dying 3 floors below us in Chicago Memorial's ICU, and these men, these beautiful, terrifying strangers, were the only ones offering to save him. The scent hit me first, leather and smoke and something darker I couldn't name. It wrapped around my throat like a hand, squeezing just enough to make breathing hard. My suppressants were failing. I could feel it in the way my skin heated, in the tremor running through my fingers as I clutched my phone. The taller one stepped closer. His eyes were storm gray, cold enough to freeze. "You understand what we're asking, don't you, Omega?" I hated how that word sounded in his mouth. Possessive. Final. "You want me to—" My voice cracked. I forced the words out anyway. "To sleep with both of you, tonight, in exchange for paying Ethan's medical bills." The other one smiled. Same face, different energy, warmer but somehow more dangerous because of it. "Not just tonight, sweetheart. We want you for 6 months. Exclusively ours. No other alphas. No suppressants. No running." My stomach dropped. 6 months of being theirs, of letting them touch me, claim me, use me however they wanted. "And if I say no," the cold one's smile was razor sharp, "then your brother dies in 4 days when they pull the plug. Your choice." I looked between them, these twin nightmares offering salvation wrapped in damnation. God help me. I was going to say yes. Welcome back, besties. This is another forbidden Omegaverse story, and trust me, you need to stay till the very end. This one's going to wreck you in the best way possible. 24 hours earlier, my life was normal. Well, as normal as it gets for a broke Omega, working 2 jobs in downtown Chicago while putting myself through art school. I had my studio apartment in Pilsen, my Tuesday morning life drawing class, my weekend shifts at the coffee shop on Randolph Street. I had Ethan, my baby brother, 17 years old, about to start his senior year at Whitney Young. Smart as hell, funny. The only family I had left after our parents died in a car crash 5 years ago. Then he collapsed during football practice. Brain aneurysm, catastrophic bleeding, emergency surgery that saved his life but left him in a coma with complications the doctor said would require months of intensive treatment. Treatment our insurance wouldn't cover. I sat in the ICU waiting room at 2 a.m. staring at a bill that might as well have said $1 million for all the chance I had of paying it. $375,000. That's what they needed up front to keep him in the program, to give him the experimental therapy that might bring him back. I had $800 in my checking account. I'd already called everyone I could think of. Extended family who'd written us off after mom and dad died. Friends who were just as broke as me. I'd started a GoFundMe that raised $2,000 in 3 days. A drop in an ocean I was drowning in. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. "We can help with your brother's medical expenses. Meet us at the Sinclair Hotel, penthouse suite. Come alone. D&C Moretti." I stared at the message until my vision blurred. Moretti. Everyone in Chicago knew that name. The Moretti family ran half the city's underground. Gambling, protection, investments that skirted the legal line. I'd heard rumors about the twin alphas who'd taken over after their father died. Ruthless, brilliant, untouchable, and apparently watching me. I should have deleted the message. Should have blocked the number and figured out some other way to save Ethan. But there was no other way. I'd exhausted every option, begged every person, applied for every grant and loan and charity program. The hospital had already told me they'd start comfort care in 4 days if we couldn't pay. 4 days until they killed my brother. So I texted back, "When?" The response was immediate, "Now." Car waiting outside. I looked out the waiting room window. A black SUV sat at the curb, tinted windows reflecting the streetlights. A man in a dark suit stood beside it, watching the entrance. Every instinct I had screamed danger, but desperation is louder than instinct. I grabbed my jacket, told the nurse I'd be back in an hour, and walked outside into the September cold. The man opened the SUV door without speaking. I climbed in. The interior smelled like expensive leather and alpha pheromones, strong enough that my suppressants couldn't quite mask the way my body wanted to react. I pressed my knees together, focused on breathing through my mouth. The drive took 15 minutes. The Sinclair rose above Michigan Avenue like a blade of glass and steel. The kind of place where rooms started at $1,000 a night. The elevator required a key card to access the penthouse. The suited man used his, pressed the button, and stepped back out. The doors closed. My reflection stared back at me in the polished metal. Dark blonde hair falling into tired blue eyes. Clothes that hadn't been changed in 2 days. I looked like exactly what I was, a desperate omega with nothing left to lose. The elevator slowed, stopped. The doors opened onto a private foyer with only one set of double doors. They swung open before I could knock, and there they were, identical. That was my first thought. Completely, impossibly identical. Same height, well over 6 feet, same build, broad shoulders, lean muscle. Same face, sharp jawlines, full mouths, straight noses that looked like they'd been broken and reset perfectly. Same thick dark hair, though one wore his slightly longer. Same storm gray eyes that locked onto me with an intensity that made my knees weak. The one on the left spoke first. Kieran Hayes. His voice was smooth, controlled. He wore a charcoal suit with no tie, top button undone. Thank you for coming. I'm Dante Moretti. This is my brother, Cade. Cade didn't smile. He leaned against the doorframe in all black, jeans, Henley, boots, arms crossed over his chest. His eyes dragged over me slowly, cataloging every detail. Come in, Omega. We have things to discuss. That word again, Omega, like it defined everything I was. I forced myself to move forward, past them into the penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Chicago skyline. Furniture that probably cost more than my entire year's rent. Art on the walls that looked original. The space smelled overwhelmingly alpha. My suppressants were definitely failing. I could feel my body responding, warming, pulse quickening. I wrapped my arms around myself. Drink? Dante moved to a bar cart, pouring something amber into 3 glasses. It's not a request. Cade shut the door. The lock clicked with finality. You're going to want it for this conversation. He guided me to a white leather couch with a hand on my lower back. Possessive, familiar, like he had every right to touch me. I jerked away. His smile was sharp. Dante handed me a glass. I didn't drink, just held it to give my shaking hands something to do. They sat across from me, flanking a chrome coffee table. Mirror images studying their prey. You're wondering how we know about Ethan, Dante said. It wasn't a question. We make it our business to know everything that happens in Chicago. Your brother's case came to our attention. We can save him. My heart hammered against my ribs. Why would you help us? We're nobody. Cade's laugh was low, dark. You're not nobody, not anymore. We want something in return. Dante leaned forward, elbows on his knees. 6 months of your time? You move into our penthouse? You belong to us exclusively, and you give us what we need. The air left my lungs. You want me to be your... What? Your kleptomega? We want you to be ours, Cade corrected. His eyes were predator cold. Both of ours. We share everything, sweetheart. Always have. I stood, headed for the door. Dante was faster, suddenly in my space, not touching, but blocking my path with his body. The scent of him made my head spin. Sit, listen, then decide if your pride is worth more than your brother's life. The cruelty of it stole my breath, but he was right. I sat. Dante returned to his position, expression softer now. We're not asking you to sell yourself. We're offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We pay for Ethan's treatment, all of it, the experimental therapy, the rehabilitation, everything. Private room, best doctors, full care until he recovers completely. And what do I have to do? My voice shook. Live with us, Cade said bluntly. Stop taking suppressants. Let your heat cycles come naturally. Be available to both of us whenever we want you. Heat flooded my face. You want me to... with both of you? Yes. no shame in Dante's voice. We don't do half measures, Kieran. If you agree to this, you're ours completely. Both of us. However we want, whenever we want. I looked between them. Why me? You're alphas from one of the most powerful families in Chicago. You could have any omega you wanted. Something flickered in Cade's expression. We don't want just any omega. We want one who understands sacrifice, who'd do anything to protect the people they love. He tilted his head. Besides, we've been watching you for 3 months. You're intriguing. My stomach dropped. 3 months? Dante's smile was apologetic but unapologetic. We first saw you at that gallery opening in June. You were sketching in the corner, ignoring everyone. Something about you caught our attention. We've been keeping track since then. I struggled for words. That's stalking. That's due diligence, Cade corrected. We needed to know if you'd be compatible. The implications made me dizzy. They'd been watching me, learning my routines, my habits, planning this. What if I say no? Dante's expression went carefully neutral. Then we walk away. Your brother gets transferred to county hospice. They'll keep him comfortable until... He didn't finish. He didn't have to. And if I say yes, then we call the hospital tonight. Cade pulled out his phone. Wire transfer for the full amount. Ethan starts the experimental treatment tomorrow morning. Private suite, around-the-clock care, whatever he needs. For 6 months of my life. For 6 months of being worshipped by 2 alphas who'll give you everything you could want. Dante's voice dropped lower. Pleasure, protection, luxury. The only thing we ask is exclusivity and obedience. The word obedience sent ice through my veins. But Ethan's face flashed in my mind, pale against the hospital sheets, machines breathing for him. I need time to think. Cade's smile was razor-edged. You have until sunrise. That's 6 hours. After that, the offer expires. The SUV dropped me back at the hospital in silence. I went straight to Ethan's room, stood beside his bed watching the ventilator force his chest to rise and fall. Tubes everywhere, machines beeping. My baby brother reduced to numbers on monitors. He was supposed to be worrying about college applications and homecoming dates. Instead, he was dying. The nurse came in to check his vitals. Any change? I asked, already knowing the answer. She gave me that pitying look I'd grown to hate. No, honey, but he's stable for now. Stable. Such a clinical word for not dead yet. I pulled up the chair I'd been living in for 4 days, took Ethan's hand. His skin was warm but lifeless. I traced the calluses on his palm from throwing footballs, the scar on his thumb from the time he'd tried to whittle a walking stick and nearly cut his finger off. I don't know what to do, I whispered. They're asking me to do something that goes against everything Mom taught us. But if I don't, the ventilator hissed. Ethan didn't answer. I stayed there until the sky started to lighten outside the windows. Nurses changed shifts. Doctors made rounds. The city woke up around us. My phone buzzed at 5:47 a.m. Time's almost up, Omega. What's your answer? See, I stared at the message, at Ethan's face, at the machines keeping him alive. Mom used to say that love meant sacrifice, that family came before pride, before comfort, before everything. She'd sacrificed everything for us after Dad died, worked herself to exhaustion to keep us fed and housed and safe. Now it was my turn. I typed 3 letters. Yes. The response was immediate. Smart boy. Car will pick you up in 1 hour. Pack light. We'll provide everything else. Then from Dante, the hospital will receive payment confirmation within 10 minutes. Ethan starts treatment this afternoon. I called the nurse's station. Can I speak to Dr. Martinez? He arrived 5 minutes later, tablet in hand, expression confused. Mr. Hayes, what's... His tablet pinged. He looked down, then up at me with wide eyes. The account. Someone just paid the full balance. Plus 6 months advance for extended care. Relief crashed through me so hard I couldn't breathe. So he can get the treatment? We'll start prep immediately. The first procedure is scheduled for 2 p.m. Dr. Martinez was still staring at his tablet. May I ask who? This is nearly $500,000. A benefactor, someone who wants to remain anonymous. He nodded slowly, clearly not believing me, but not about to question money that would save his patient. Well, thank whoever it is. They just gave your brother a real chance. I looked at Ethan one more time, memorized his face before everything changed. I love you, I whispered. I'm doing this for you. Please come back to me. Then I walked out of the hospital down to the waiting SUV and let them take me to the penthouse that would be my cage for the next 6 months. The door closed behind me with a finality that sounded like goodbye to my old life, my freedom, myself. But Ethan would live. That's all that mattered. But Ethan would live. That's all that mattered. The SUV pulled up to the Sinclair again. Same building, same doorman who nodded like he knew exactly what I was walking into. This time I had a duffel bag with 3 days worth of clothes, my sketchbook, and a phone charger. Everything else I owned could rot in my apartment for all I cared. The elevator ride felt different now, slower, like the building itself was giving me one last chance to run. I didn't take it. The penthouse doors opened before I reached them. Cade stood there, still in black, looking like he hadn't slept. His eyes raked over me, my rumpled shirt, my unwashed hair, the exhaustion I wore like a second skin. "You look like hell," he said. "Thanks. That's exactly what I needed to hear right now." His mouth curved, not quite a smile, but close. "Come on, Dante's in a meeting. I'll show you around." I followed him inside. In daylight, the penthouse was even more overwhelming. Exposed brick walls mixed with floor-to-ceiling windows, modern furniture that looked like it belonged in a museum, a kitchen with appliances I couldn't name. Everything screamed wealth in a way that made my stomach turn. "Your room's this way." Cade led me down a hallway lined with abstract art. He pushed open a door at the end. The bedroom was bigger than my entire apartment. King-size bed with black silk sheets, walk-in closet, attached bathroom with a shower that could fit 4 people. Windows overlooking Lake Michigan, the water gray and choppy under September clouds. "This is..." I couldn't find words. "Yours, for now." Cade leaned against the doorframe, watching me. "Dante's room is next door. Mine's across the hall, connected by interior doors that lock from your side only." My head snapped toward him. "What?" "We're not monsters, Kieran. You control access to your space. We won't come in unless you invite us." His eyes darkened. "But you will invite us, eventually." The certainty in his voice made my skin prickle. "What if I don't?" "Then we wait. We're patient men when we want something." He pushed off the doorframe, moved closer. "But fair warning, your suppressants are going to wear off in about 3 days. When your heat hits without them, you're going to be begging us to touch you." Heat flooded my face. "I can get more suppressants." "No, you can't. That was part of the deal. No suppressants for 6 months. We want you natural, responsive, ours." He reached out, tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers brushed my neck and I flinched. "Your scent's already changing. Sweetening. It's driving us crazy." I stepped back, putting space between us. "I need to shower. Alone." His smile was all teeth. "For now." He left, closing the door behind him. I stood there shaking, adrenaline and fear, and something else I didn't want to name coursing through me. This was real. I'd actually sold myself to 2 alpha strangers for 6 months. 6 months of them touching me, using me, owning me. The bathroom mirror showed a stranger's face. Too pale, too thin, eyes too wide. I looked scared. I was scared. But Ethan was getting treatment right now. The experimental therapy that would save his life. That's what mattered. I could survive 6 months of anything for him. The shower was scalding, the water pressure intense enough to hurt. I stayed under it until my skin was red, until the hospital smell was gone, until I could breathe without my chest aching. When I finally got out, there were clothes laid out on the bed. Expensive clothes in my exact size, jeans that actually fit, a soft gray Henley, boxers that weren't from a discount store. They'd been planning this, buying clothes, preparing the room, mapping out how to trap me. I dressed because I didn't have a choice, then opened my door to explore. The hallway was empty. I could hear voices from somewhere deeper in the penthouse. Dante's smooth tone, another man's rougher voice, words I couldn't make out. The living room was massive. Leather couches arranged around a glass coffee table, A bar that would make any restaurant jealous, bookshelves filled with everything from classic literature to tactical manuals, and windows everywhere, showing Chicago stretching out below us like we owned it. Beautiful, isn't it? I spun. Dante stood behind me, wearing different clothes now. Dark jeans, white button-down with sleeves rolled to his elbows. He looked softer in daylight, less dangerous, but I knew better. The view, he clarified, moving to stand beside me. We bought this place specifically for it. Cade wanted something higher, but I liked being able to see the lake. It's nice, I managed. You're terrified. Not a question. He turned to face me fully. That's understandable. This is a lot to process. But I want you to know something, Kieran. We don't want you scared. We want you willing. Then you shouldn't have blackmailed me. His expression didn't change. We gave you a choice. Not a good choice, but a choice nonetheless. You chose your brother. That takes courage. It takes desperation. Those aren't mutually exclusive. He moved closer, slowly, like approaching a spooked animal. I know you don't trust us. I know you think we're going to hurt you. But we're not. We're going to take care of you, protect you, give you everything you need. Except freedom. Freedom is overrated when you're starving and broken. His hand came up, cupped my jaw. The touch was gentle, but firm enough that I couldn't pull away. We researched you, Kieran, thoroughly. 2 jobs, night classes, an apartment with heat that barely works. You've been surviving, not living. We're offering you a chance to actually live. As your prisoner, his thumb brushed my cheekbone. As our Omega, there's a difference. Before I could respond, his mouth was on mine. The kiss was soft, testing, nothing like I expected from an alpha who'd bought me. He tasted like coffee and something darker, and despite everything, my body responded. Heat pooled low in my stomach. My suppressants were definitely failing. He pulled back, eyes searching mine. You feel it too, the pull. It's not just the arrangement, Kieran. There's chemistry here, real chemistry. I wanted to deny it. Couldn't. That doesn't make this right. Maybe not, but it makes it easier. He stepped back, giving me space. Come on, I'll show you the rest of the place. Then we're taking you shopping. I don't need... You do. Your clothes are threadbare, your shoes have holes, and you own exactly 2 pairs of jeans. We're fixing that. The tour took 20 minutes. 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, an office that looked like a command center with multiple monitors and enough tech to run a small country. A gym with equipment I'd only seen in magazines. And a studio. I stopped in the doorway, staring. North-facing windows flooded the space with perfect light. Empty canvases stacked against one wall. A professional easel in the center. Paints, brushes, supplies I'd dreamed about but could never afford. You paint, Dante said behind me. We saw your portfolio online. You're talented. This is yours to use however you want. Something cracked in my chest. Why? Because keeping you prisoner in luxury is pointless if you're miserable. We want you happy, Kieran. Comfortable. Willing. He moved past me into the studio, trailing fingers over the easel. Paint whatever you want. Sell it if you want. This space is yours, no conditions. I walked in slowly, touching canvases, opening paint tubes. Everything was top of the line. Professional grade. The kind of supplies I'd window shop for years. Thank you, I whispered, hating how much I meant it. Don't thank us yet. Cade's voice from the doorway made me turn. He'd changed too. Dark jeans, leather jacket, looking like trouble personified. We've got a car waiting. Time to make you look like you belong with us. The shopping trip was surreal. They took me to stores on Michigan Avenue where price tags didn't exist because if you had to ask, you couldn't afford it. Cade picked out jeans and jackets with a critical eye. Dante chose softer things, sweaters, button-downs, and colors that brought out my eyes. They argued good-naturedly about styles while I stood there like a doll being dressed. He needs more color, Dante said, holding up a blue Henley. He looks better in dark colors. Brings out the contrast. Cade grabbed a black shirt instead. I'm standing right here, I said. They both turned to me, identical smiles that made my breath catch. What do you want? Dante asked. The question felt like a test. I don't know, my clothes always came from thrift stores. Something shifted in Cade's expression. Then we'll get both. And everything else you might want. By the time we left, they'd bought me an entire wardrobe. Clothes for every occasion I could imagine, and several I couldn't. Shoes that cost more than my monthly rent used to. A leather jacket that fit like it was made for me, because Cade insisted on having it tailored on the spot. This is too much, I said as we loaded bags into the SUV. This is nothing. Dante's hand found my lower back, guiding me into the car. Wait until you see what we do for birthdays. The drive back should have been uncomfortable. Instead, Dante asked about my art, about what I wanted to paint, about my inspirations. Cade listened quietly, interjecting occasionally with surprisingly insightful questions. They made me feel like I mattered beyond just being their bought omega. That's what scared me most. How easy it would be to forget this wasn't real. To believe they actually cared instead of just wanting to own me. Back at the penthouse, Cade disappeared into his room while Dante helped me put clothes away. His hands brushed mine repeatedly. Small touches, deliberate but not aggressive. Testing boundaries. Dinner's at 7, he said, hanging up the last shirt. We eat together. House rule. What are the other house rules? Honestly, we're making them up as we go. We've never done this before. He sat on my bed, patted the space beside him. I stayed standing. But the important ones are simple. You don't leave without one of us. You don't take suppressants. You don't lie to us. And you lock your door at night until you're ready not to. What happens if I break a rule? His smile was gentle, but his eyes were steel. Then we remind you who you belong to. Gently at first, less gently if necessary. You mean you'd punish me? We'd correct you, there's a difference. He stood, moved into my space until I had to tilt my head back to maintain eye contact. We're not cruel, Kieran, but we are possessive. You agreed to be ours. That means something to us. It's going to mean something to you too, whether you want it to or not. His scent wrapped around me, pine and something darker, more complex. My body responded despite my mind screaming to stay distant. The suppressants were definitely wearing off. I could feel it in my heightened sensitivity, the way my skin felt too tight, the warmth building in my core. You're going into heat soon, Dante murmured, reading my body like a book. 3 days, maybe 4. When it hits, you're going to need us. Your body's going to crave an alpha's touch. We'll be here, ready to give you everything you need. What if I don't want you? Then we'll make you want us. He leaned in, lips brushing my ear. We're very good at getting what we want, Kieran, and we want you desperate for us. He pulled back, left me standing there shaking, and turned on and terrified. The door clicked shut behind him. I collapsed onto the bed, pressing my palms against my eyes. 3 days until my heat. 3 days until I'd be vulnerable, needy, probably begging them to touch me just like Cade had said. 3 days to figure out how to survive this without losing myself completely. But Ethan was safe. Treatment had started. In 6 months, I'd walk away with my brother healthy, in a bank account that would let us start over somewhere far from Chicago and these 2 alphas who were already getting under my skin. I just had to survive 6 months first. The question was whether I'd still be me when it was over. The question was whether I'd still be me when it was over. A knock on the door made me sit up. Kieran, dinner. Cade's voice, rougher than Dante's, impatient. I wiped my face, checked the mirror. My eyes were red but dry. Good enough. I opened the door. Cade leaned against the frame, arms crossed. His eyes tracked over my face, lingering on the telltale signs of almost crying. You okay? Fine. Liar. But he didn't push. Just stepped back, gestured down the hall. Come on. Dante cooked. If we're late, he'll sulk. Dante cooks? One of many hidden talents. Cade's hand found my lower back again. These alphas couldn't seem to stop touching me. He's good at it too. Pretentious French shit mostly, but it tastes incredible. The dining room had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city lights. A table set for 3, candles flickering, music playing softly from hidden speakers. Dante stood at the head of the table in an apron that said, "Kiss the cook," in faded letters. The domesticity of it cracked something in my chest. Perfect timing. Dante smiled, pulling off the apron. Sit, both of you. Cade guided me to the chair on Dante's right. He took the one on the left, flanking him, trapping me between them. Dante served coco vin, roasted vegetables, bread that smelled like heaven. My stomach growled. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. When's the last time you had a real meal? Dante asked, watching me stare at the food. I eat. That's not what I asked. He placed a full plate in front of me. Eat, all of it. You're too thin. I wanted to argue, but the food smelled incredible and I was starving, and pride didn't fill an empty stomach. I picked up my fork. The first bite was transcendent, rich, perfectly seasoned, melting on my tongue. I couldn't stop the small sound of pleasure that escaped. Both alphas went very still. You like it, Cade said, voice lower than before. I swallowed. It's good. Good. Dante's eyes were dark, intense. We're going to feed you like this every night. Build your strength back up. You've been running on fumes too long. We ate in silence for a few minutes. The food was too good to rush. But I could feel their eyes on me, watching every bite, every reaction. It should have been uncomfortable. Instead, it felt almost caring. Tell us about your art, Dante said eventually. What do you paint? I took a sip of wine, expensive, probably older than me. People mostly, portraits. I like capturing expressions, moments. Why? Cade leaned back in his chair, swirling his own wine. Because everyone has a story written on their face. Pain, joy, secrets they think they're hiding. I like finding it, putting it on canvas. What story do you see on our faces? Dante asked. I looked between them, really looked the way I did when planning a portrait. Loss, both of you, something that cut deep and never healed right. The air in the room changed. Cade's jaw tightened. Dante's hand stilled on his wine glass. Our mother, Dante said quietly, she died when we were 16. Cancer. We had the money to treat it, but she refused. Said the family business needed the resources more than she did. My chest ached. I'm sorry. Don't be. Cade's voice was hard. She made her choice, just like you made yours. The comparison stung. That's not the same thing, isn't it? She sacrificed herself for us. You're sacrificing yourself for your brother. Cade leaned forward. The difference is we're not going to let you destroy yourself. We're going to take care of you. By owning me. By protecting you. Dante reached over, covered my hand with his. You've been alone too long, Kieran. Fighting too hard just to survive. Let us carry some of that weight. I pulled my hand away. This isn't real. You're not doing this because you care. You're doing it because you want an Omega to fuck. Cade's laugh was sharp. If we just wanted to fuck an Omega, we could have anyone we wanted. We chose you specifically. Why? Because you're strong. Dante's eyes held mine. Because you're beautiful. Because when we saw you at that gallery, sketching while everyone else was networking, something clicked. You were so focused, so lost in your art. We watched you for an hour. You didn't notice us once. That's not clicking. That's obsession. Maybe. Cade's smile was dangerous. But obsession gets results, and we're very good at getting what we want. The words should have terrified me. Instead, heat curled low in my stomach. The wine was making me lightheaded, or maybe it was their scent, thick and intoxicating in the enclosed space. More wine? Dante lifted the bottle. I shouldn't. He poured anyway. You should. You're wound too tight. Relax, Kieran. We're not going to hurt you tonight. Tonight, I repeated. What about tomorrow? Tomorrow we start teaching you what it means to be ours. Cade stood, moved behind my chair. His hands settled on my shoulders, thumbs pressing into tense muscles. But tonight we just want you comfortable. The massage should have felt threatening. Instead it felt incredible. My shoulders had been knotted for days, weeks maybe. His hands were strong, skilled, working out tension I didn't know I was carrying. A sound escaped me, half moan, half sigh. Embarrassing. That's it, Cade murmured. Let go. Stop fighting so hard. Dante cleared the plates, refilled my wine. The candlelight made everything softer, dreamlike. Cade's hands moved to my neck, my upper back, finding every knot and easing it loose. My head fell forward. "You're good at this," I mumbled. "We're good at a lot of things." His breath was warm against my ear. "Tomorrow will show you exactly how good." Dante returned, sat beside me. His hand found my thigh under the table, high enough to make my breath catch, not high enough to be threatening. "How are you feeling?" "Dizzy." "Good dizzy or bad dizzy?" "I don't know yet." His thumb traced circles on my inner thigh through my jeans. "Your scent is changing, getting sweeter. You're close to your heat, Kieran. Probably tomorrow night." My head snapped up. "That fast?" "Without suppressants, your body's reverting to its natural cycle. It's going to hit hard." Cade's hand stilled on my shoulders. "We'll be ready. We'll take care of you." "I don't want—" "Yes, you do." Dante's hand moved higher. "Your body knows what it needs even if your mind won't admit it. When your heat hits, you're going to beg us to touch you, to fill you, to knot you." The words sent electricity through me. I stood abruptly, my chair scraping back. "I need air." They didn't stop me. I made it to the balcony, pushed through the glass doors into September cold. The wind off Lake Michigan cut through my shirt. I braced my hands on the railing, trying to breathe, trying to think. The door opened behind me. Both of them stepped out, flanking me like bookends. "We're pushing too hard," Dante said. "I'm sorry." "We're not sorry." Cade's hand covered mine on the railing. "We want you. We're not going to hide it, but we're also not going to force you. When your heat comes, we'll be there. You can let us help you through it, or you can suffer alone. Your choice. Some choice. Better than no choice at all." His hand tightened on mine. "We're not the enemy, Kieran. We're the ones who saved your brother, who gave you a home, clothes, food, who are going to worship your body until you forget what it feels like to be alone." I turned to face them. "You want me grateful, compliant. We want you willing." Dante cupped my face with both hands. "There's a difference." "Not much of one." "Then let us show you." His thumb brushed my lower lip. "Let us prove we're more than what you think we are." His mouth met mine before I could protest. The kiss was different from earlier, deeper, more demanding. His tongue traced my lips and I opened for him, helpless against the onslaught. He tasted like wine and want. When he pulled back, Cade was there, turning my face toward him. His kiss was rougher, more consuming. He kissed like he did everything else, with complete confidence that I'd surrender. And I did. God help me, I kissed him back. When they finally released me, I was breathless, dizzy, clinging to the railing to stay upright. "Inside," Dante said. "It's too cold out here." They guided me back in, closed the balcony doors. The sudden warmth made me shiver, or maybe it was their hands on me, steering me toward the living room couch. "Sit," Cade commanded. I sat. They settled on either side of me, close enough that I could feel their body heat, smell their scent mixing with mine. "We need to establish some things," Dante said. "Ground rules. I thought you said you were making them up as you go." "We are." "Right now." His hand found mine, laced our fingers together. "First rule, honesty. You tell us what you need, what you want, what scares you. No lying." "Second rule," Cade added, his arm draping across the back of the couch behind me. "You don't leave the penthouse without one of us. Chicago's dangerous for unclaimed omegas, especially one who smells as good as you do." "I'm not unclaimed. Not yet." Dante's smile was soft. "But you will be. By the end of 6 months, you'll be wearing our marks. Our scent. Everyone will know you're ours." The possessiveness should have angered me. Instead, it sent heat through my veins. The wine had definitely been a mistake. "Third rule," Cade continued, "your heat is ours. When it comes, you let us take care of you. We'll make it good, Kieran. Better than anything you've experienced." "I haven't experienced anything." Silence fell. Both alphas turned to stare at me. "What?" Dante's voice was carefully controlled. Heat flooded my face. "I'm a virgin. I thought you knew that from all your stalking." "We knew you didn't have an alpha," Cade said slowly. "We didn't know you'd never—" He stopped, his hand tightening on the couch. "You've never been with anyone." "I've been too busy surviving to date." "Fuck." Dante's hand came up, tilted my face toward him. "You're telling us we're going to be your first? Both of us?" I nodded, unable to speak. Something dark and possessive flashed in both their eyes. The air got thicker, charged with alpha pheromones that made my head spin. That changes things, Cade said, his voice rough. How? We'll be gentler, slower. Dante's thumb traced my jaw. We'll teach you everything, Kieran. How to take pleasure, how to give it, how to surrender completely. Tomorrow, Cade added, when your heat starts, we'll make your first time everything it should be. My heart hammered. What if I'm not ready? You will be. Dante leaned in, pressed his forehead to mine. Your body knows what it needs. Trust it. Trust us. I wanted to argue, but exhaustion was pulling at me, and wine and their scent wrapping around me like a drug. Bed, Dante said softly. You need sleep. They walked me to my room, both of them hovering like I might collapse. At my door, Dante kissed my forehead. Cade kissed my temple. Then they stepped back. Lock the door, Dante said. Get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be intense. I closed the door, turned the lock, pressed my back against it and slid down until I was sitting on the floor. Tomorrow my heat would start. Tomorrow I'd give myself to two alphas who'd bought me like property. Tomorrow everything would change. I should have been terrified. Instead, all I felt was anticipation curling hot and dangerous in my stomach. God, what was wrong with me? God, what was wrong with me? I pushed off the floor, stripped off my clothes, and crawled into bed. The silk sheets felt cool against my overheated skin. I was burning up, restless, unable to get comfortable no matter how I arranged the pillows. Sleep wouldn't come. I lay there staring at the ceiling, hyper-aware of every sound. Cade's door closing across the hall, water running in Dante's bathroom next door, the city humming 20 floors below. My skin felt too tight. Every brush of the sheets sent sparks through me. I kicked them off, then pulled them back when the cold air made me shiver. Nothing felt right. Around 3 a.m., I gave up, grabbed my sketchbook and pencil from the duffel bag, turned on the bedside lamp. Drawing always calmed me when my mind wouldn't shut off. I started sketching without thinking, lines becoming features, shadows becoming depth. When I looked down 20 minutes later, I'd drawn them, both of them. Dante's softer expression, Cade's sharper edges, the way they looked at me like I was something precious and dangerous at the same time. A knock on the connecting door made me jump. Kieran? Dante's voice, rough with sleep. You okay? I can hear you moving around. I'm fine, can't sleep. Can I come in? I should have said no. Instead, yeah. The lock clicked. The door opened. Dante stood there in nothing but gray sweatpants, hair mussed, eyes still heavy with sleep. The sight of his bare chest, lean muscle, a scattering of dark hair, the edge of a tattoo disappearing below his waistband, made my mouth go dry. You're burning up. He moved to the bed, pressed the back of his hand to my forehead. It's starting. Earlier than I thought. What's starting? Your heat. His eyes searched mine. How do you feel? Restless? Hot? Achy? All of the above. I'm fine. Liar. He sat on the edge of the bed, taking the sketchbook from my hands. His eyes widened when he saw the drawing. You drew us. Heat flooded my face. I draw when I can't sleep. It's good, really good. He traced a finger over his own sketched face. Is this how you see us? I don't know, maybe. He set the sketchbook aside, turned back to me. Your scent is different, sweeter. It's making it very hard for me to think clearly right now. Then leave. Can't. His hand found my face, thumb stroking my cheekbone. Your heat's started, Kieran. Your body needs an alpha. If I leave you alone, it's going to get worse. Painful. As if to prove his point, a cramp seized my lower abdomen. I gasped, curling forward. There it is. Dante's arms came around me, pulling me against his chest. It's okay. I've got you. It hurts. I know. It'll get worse before it gets better. His hand rubbed slow circles on my back. Let me help you. Please. Another cramp, stronger this time. I bit back a whimper. The door across the hall opened. Footsteps in the hallway. Then Cade was there, leaning in the doorway, wearing only black boxer briefs. His eyes were dark, predatory. His heat started. Yeah. Dante's arms tightened around me. He's fighting it. Of course he is. Stubborn. Cade moved into the room, sat on the other side of the bed. Kieran, look at me. I lifted my head from Dante's chest, met those storm gray eyes. You have two choices, Cade said. You can let us help you through this. Make it good, make it pleasurable, or you can suffer alone for the next 3 days while your body tears itself apart wanting something it can't have. Which sounds better? I don't. Another cramp cut me off. Stronger. I couldn't breathe through it. That's what I thought. Cade's hand settled on my thigh, warm and grounding. Stop fighting. Let us take care of you. We'll go slow, Dante murmured against my hair. We'll make it perfect for you. Your first time should be perfect. The pain was getting worse, spreading from my abdomen through my whole body, making everything ache. I could feel slickness between my legs, my body preparing itself despite my mind's protests. Okay, I whispered. Okay. Good boy. Cade's hand moved higher on my thigh. Lie back. Let us see you. Dante eased me back against the pillows. I was still wearing boxers, nothing else. Both alphas looked at me like I was a feast they'd been denied too long. Beautiful, Dante breathed. His hand traced down my chest, over my stomach. Even better than I imagined. You imagine this? Every night for 3 months. His hand dipped below my waistband, fingers tracing the jut of my hip bone. I've thought about nothing but touching you, tasting you, being inside you. Cade's hand joined his brother's, both of them exploring my body with reverent touches. We're going to ruin you for anyone else, Kieran. By the time we're done, you won't remember what it feels like to be empty. His mouth found my neck, lips trailing over the sensitive spot where a bonding mark would go. I arched into it, helpless. Dante's hand wrapped around me through the fabric, stroking slowly. The sensation shot through me like electricity. I'd touched myself before, but it had never felt like this. Never this intense, this overwhelming. Please, I heard myself say. Please what? Cade's teeth scraped my collarbone. Use your words, Omega. I don't know, I need... Another wave of heat crashed through me. Something, anything. We'll give you everything. Dante hooked his fingers in my waistband. Lift your hips. I did. He pulled my boxers off in one smooth motion, leaving me completely bare. Both alphas went still, staring. Perfect, Cade said. Fucking perfect. Then his mouth was on me and I couldn't think anymore. Could only feel his tongue, his lips, the wet heat of his mouth taking me deep. Dante's hands were everywhere else, stroking, caressing, learning every inch of my skin. I was going to die. Actually die from the intensity of it. Breathe, Dante commanded, his mouth at my ear. Just feel. Don't think. Cade pulled off with an obscene sound, his eyes meeting mine. You taste incredible. I could do this for hours. Please don't. I can't. The pressure was building too fast, too intense. I'm going to... Go ahead. Dante's hand wrapped around me where Cade's mouth had been. Let go. Show us how pretty you look when you come apart. The combination of his hand and Cade's mouth returning was too much. I shattered, crying out, vision going white. Wave after wave of pleasure crashed through me until I couldn't tell where I ended and they began. When I came back to myself, Dante was cleaning me with a warm cloth while Cade kissed my inner thighs, my hip bones, everywhere he could reach. That was just the beginning, Dante said softly. Your heat's going to last at least 2 days. We're going to take you apart and put you back together over and over until you forget there was ever a time we didn't own you. Not fair, I managed, my voice wrecked. I can't think when you touch me. Good. Cade moved up my body, settling between my legs. Thinking is overrated. Feeling is better. His fingers traced lower, finding the slickness my body was producing. One finger circled my entrance, testing. So wet for us already. Your body knows what it needs even if you're still fighting it. He pressed inside slowly. The intrusion was strange, uncomfortable, but not painful. He worked his finger deeper, searching, and then I arched off the bed, a sound escaping me I'd never made before. There it is. Cade's smile was wicked. Found it. He stroked that spot inside me while Dante's mouth found mine, swallowing my moans. The pleasure was different now, deeper, more consuming. I could feel my body opening for Cade, accommodating a second finger, then a third. You're taking this so well, Dante murmured against my lips. Like you were made for us. Maybe I was, I gasped out, too far gone to care how it sounded. Cade's fingers left me. I whimpered at the loss. Shh, we're going to give you something better. He positioned himself, and I could feel the blunt pressure of him against me, bigger than his fingers, much bigger. Look at me, he commanded. I met his eyes. They were almost black now, pupils blown wide with want. This is going to hurt at first, he said, but we'll make it good, I promise. He pushed forward slowly, carefully. The stretch burned, my body resisting despite the slickness. I tensed. Relax. Dante's hands were on me, soothing, grounding. Breathe through it. Let him in. I tried, forced my muscles to relax. Cade pushed deeper, inch by excruciating inch. The burn was overwhelming but not unbearable, and underneath it, something else was building. A fullness, a rightness that made my breath catch. Almost there, Cade gritted out. You're doing so good, Kieran, taking me so perfectly. One more push and he was fully inside. I felt split open, claimed, owned. He stilled, letting me adjust. His forehead pressed to mine, his breath coming hard. How do you feel? He asked. Full. So full. Good, because I'm going to move now. Going to show you what it feels like to be thoroughly fucked. He pulled back slowly, then pushed in again. The friction sent sparks through me. He set a steady rhythm, each thrust hitting that spot inside me that made stars explode behind my eyes. Dante's hand found me again, stroking in time with his brother's thrust. The dual sensation was too much. I was going to come apart again, harder this time. That's it, Cade groaned. Squeeze me just like that. You feel incredible, Kieran. So tight, so perfect. His rhythm faltered. Got rougher. I could feel something building at the base of him, pressing against me with each thrust. His knot, Dante explained, seeing my confusion. When he comes, it's going to lock you together, tie you to him. The idea should have scared me. Instead, it made me desperate. Please, we know what you need. Cade's hand fisted in my hair, tilting my head back. His mouth found my neck, teeth scraping over the bonding gland. Going to fill you up, mark you, make you ours. He thrust deep one final time and his knot swelled, locking us together. The fullness was overwhelming. I could feel him pulsing inside me, heat flooding me. My own release crashed through me again, pulled from me by the sensation of being so completely claimed. We stayed locked together, both of us shaking. Cade's arms came around me, holding me close. I've got you, just breathe. The knot will go down in about 20 minutes. 20 minutes of being tied to him, of feeling every pulse, every aftershock. It was intimate in a way I hadn't expected, vulnerable. Dante was there too, his hands gentle on both of us. You did so well. Took him perfectly. Your turn next, Cade said, his voice rough. My eyes widened. Now. Your heat isn't done with you yet. Dante's smile was soft, but his eyes were hungry, and we promised we'd take care of you. Both of us. The heat was already building again, my body demanding more despite having just been thoroughly claimed. This was going to be a long 2 days. But as Cade held me, still locked inside me, and Dante's hands traced soothing patterns on my skin, I realized something terrifying. I didn't want it to end. The thought terrified me more than anything else that had happened. I should have been horrified, disgusted with myself. Instead, I felt safe, complete, like a piece of me I didn't know was missing had finally clicked into place. Cade's knot was still buried deep inside me, tying us together. His chest rose and fell against my back, his arms wrapped around me possessively. Dante lay beside us, his hand trailing lazy patterns on my hip. How do you feel? Dante asked softly. Strange. Good. Full. I shifted slightly and gasped as the movement made Cade's knot press against that sensitive spot inside me. Don't move too much, Cade warned, his voice rough. You'll make it worse for both of us. Worse how? Worse as in, I'll want to fuck you again before my knot even goes down. His teeth scraped my shoulder. And your body needs rest between rounds, even if your heat doesn't think so. Dante's hand moved from my hip to my face, turning me toward him. We're going to take care of you through all of this. Feed you, keep you hydrated, make sure you don't hurt yourself. His thumb brushed my lower lip. But you need to tell us if anything becomes too much. Can you do that? I nodded, not trusting my voice. Words, Kieran. Cade's hand splayed across my stomach. We need to hear you say it. I'll tell you, I managed, if it's too much. Good boy. The praise sent warmth through me. Cade's knot was finally starting to shrink, the pressure easing. Almost there, just a little longer. When he finally slipped free, I felt the loss immediately. Empty. Wrong. I made a sound of protest before I could stop myself. Both alphas went very still. What was that? Dante's eyes were dark, intense. Did you just whimper because Cade pulled out? Heat flooded my face. No. Yes, you did. Cade turned me in his arms so I was facing him. You like being filled, like feeling owned. I don't. Your body doesn't lie, even when your mouth does. His hand slid between my legs, fingers finding the mess he'd left inside me. You're clenching around nothing, trying to keep me in. Your body knows what it wants. Dante moved behind me, his chest against my back. I was sandwiched between them, surrounded by alpha scent and body heat. His hand joined his brother's, both of them touching me, exploring. My turn, Dante murmured against my ear. I want to feel you squeeze around me. Want to hear those pretty sounds you make. I need water first, I said, my throat dry and raw. Of course. Dante pulled back. Stay here. I'll get supplies. He left the bed, and I immediately felt the loss of his warmth. Cade pulled me closer, his hand tangling in my hair. You're doing so well, he said. Better than we expected for your first time. What did you expect? More fear, more resistance. His eyes searched mine. You surprised us. You're stronger than you think. I don't feel strong. I feel like I'm falling apart. You are, and we're going to put you back together better than before. He kissed me, slow and deep. You're ours now, Kieran. This heat is just sealing what was already decided. Dante returned with bottles of water and protein bars. Eat, drink. You need your strength. I wanted to argue that I wasn't hungry, but my stomach betrayed me with a loud growl. Cade laughed, sitting up and pulling me with him. They bracketed me again, watching as I drank half a bottle of water in one go. Slower, Dante cautioned. You'll make yourself sick. I forced myself to slow down, then unwrapped a protein bar. The food was bland but necessary. My body was burning through energy faster than I could replenish it. How long does this last? I asked between bites. For a virgin omega? 2 to 3 days usually. Cade's hand rubbed circles on my lower back. But we'll make sure you come through it safely. 3 days. 72 hours of this intensity, this need, this complete loss of control. I didn't know if I'd survive it. You will, Dante said, and I realized I'd spoken out loud. We'll make sure of it. He took the half-eaten protein bar from my hands, set it aside. Enough food. You need something else now. He was right. The brief respite had only made the heat worse. My skin was on fire again, every nerve ending, screaming for touch, for relief, for them. Please, I whispered. Please, what? Dante's hand cupped my face. Tell us what you need. You. I need you. His smile was gentle. Then you'll have me. He guided me onto my back, settling between my legs. Where Cade had been rough and demanding, Dante was slow and careful. He kissed me thoroughly, his tongue exploring my mouth while his hands mapped every inch of my skin. So beautiful, he murmured against my lips. I've dreamed about this, about having you like this, open and wanting. His fingers found my entrance, already loose from Cade, slick with his release. He worked 2 fingers in easily, scissoring them, stretching me further. Still so tight, he groaned. Even after Cade, you're gripping my fingers like you don't want to let go. Don't want to be empty, I admitted. You won't be. Not for a long time. He positioned himself, the blunt head of him pressing against me. Ready? I nodded, then remembered. Yes, please, yes. He pushed in slowly, so slowly I wanted to scream. Where Cade had been all intensity and possession, Dante was deliberate and thorough. Each inch was a calculated assault on my senses. Breathe, he coached. Let me in. That's it. Perfect. When he was fully seated, he stilled. His forehead dropped to mine, his breath coming hard. You feel incredible. So hot, so tight. I could stay inside you forever. Then move, Iranakama, I demanded, past shame, past pride. Please move. He did. Long, deep strokes that hit every sensitive spot inside me. His pace was measured, controlled, designed to drive me insane. Cade appeared beside us, his hand finding me again, stroking in time with Dante's thrusts. Watch him, Cade said. See how good he makes you feel? That's what it means to be ours. We know your body better than you do. Dante's rhythm increased, still controlled but harder now. His hand gripped my hip, angling me so each thrust went deeper. I was making sounds I didn't recognize, pleas and moans, and broken versions of their names. Going to knot you, Dante gritted out. Going to fill you up just like Cade did. Mark you from the inside out. Yes, please, need it. His knot began to swell, pressing against me with each thrust. The pressure was overwhelming, perfect, exactly what my body was screaming for. When he finally locked inside me, his knot fully expanded, I came again. The orgasm ripped through me with brutal intensity, my vision going dark at the edges. Dante collapsed over me, holding me close as his own release pulsed inside me. Mine, he growled against my neck. Ours. Your, I agreed, too far gone to care how it sounded. Both of yours. Cade's hand stroked my hair. There it is. Acceptance. About damn time. They held me between them as Dante's knot slowly deflated. The heat was finally starting to ease. My body satisfied for now. Exhaustion pulled at me, dragging me towards sleep. Rest, Dante murmured. We'll be here when you wake up. Don't leave, I mumbled, already halfway gone. Never, Cade promised. We're not going anywhere. I drifted off between them, surrounded by their scent, their warmth, their complete possession. When I woke hours later, they were still there, still touching me, still watching me like I was something precious. The heat came in waves over the next 2 days, moments of desperate need followed by brief periods of clarity. They fed me, bathed me, held me through the worst of it. They took me together and separately in the bed, in the shower, and once against the windows overlooking the city. They learned every sound I made, every spot that made me shake, every way to take me apart and put me back together. By the time my heat finally broke, I was marked inside and out. Not with bonding bites, they hadn't claimed me that permanently yet, but with their scent, their touch, their complete ownership of my body. I woke up clear-headed for the first time in days. The bedroom was dim, late afternoon light filtering through the curtains. I was clean, dressed in soft clothes I didn't remember putting on. The bed beside me was empty but still warm. Voices drifted from the living room. I stood on shaky legs, my body sore in ways I'd never experienced. Every step reminded me of what we'd done, how thoroughly they'd possessed me. I found them on the couch, both fully dressed, looking at something on Dante's phone. They looked up when I appeared. You're awake. Dante stood, moving to my side. How do you feel? Sore? Tired? Strange? Strange how? Cade was there too, both of them flanking me like they couldn't help it. Like I'm not the same person I was 3 days ago. You're not, Dante said simply. You're ours now. That changes everything. He was right. Something fundamental had shifted inside me during my heat. I'd gone into it fighting, resisting, determined to maintain some distance. I'd come out of it completely claimed, unable to deny what my body had been telling me all along. I wanted them, both of them, not because they'd bought me, but because they'd shown me what it felt like to be wanted, cherished, thoroughly possessed. What happens now? I asked. Cade's smile was slow, dangerous. Now we show you what life is really like with us. The heat was just the beginning, Kieran. We've got 6 months to make you forget you ever wanted to leave. And after 6 months? After 6 months, Dante said, his hand finding mine, we convince you to stay forever. The word forever hung in the air between us, heavy, final. 3 days ago, it would have terrified me. Now, standing in their penthouse wearing their scent like a second skin, I wasn't sure how I felt. I need to call the hospital, I said instead of responding. Check on Ethan. Already done. Cade pulled out his phone, showed me the screen. Text messages from Dr. Martinez. He's responding well to treatment. Vitals improving. They're optimistic about bringing him out of the coma within the week. Relief crashed through me so hard my knees buckled. Dante caught me, his arm around my waist. Easy, you're still weak. He's really getting better? We told you we'd save him. Cade's hand settled on my shoulder. We keep our promises, Kieran. Can I see him? They exchanged a look. Some silent conversation I couldn't decipher. Not yet, Dante said carefully. You still smell like us. Like heat. The hospital is full of alphas who'd notice immediately. We need to wait until your scent normalizes. How long? A few days, maybe a week. Cade moved closer, crowding me between them. We're not trying to keep you from him. We're protecting you. An unmated Omega who just went through heat is vulnerable. Tempting. We can't risk. I'm not unmated. The words came out before I could stop them. You both nodded me. Multiple times. Nodding isn't mating. Dante's hand came up, traced the unmarked skin of my neck. Mating requires a bite during heat, a bond that ties us together permanently. We didn't do that. Why not? Another exchanged glance. Cade's jaw tightened. Because that's not something you can take back. We wanted you to choose it, not have it forced on you when you were out of your mind with need. The consideration should have made me grateful. Instead, it felt like rejection, like they'd held something back while I'd given them everything. I need air, I said, pulling away from both of them. I need to think. You're not leaving the penthouse. Cade's voice went hard. That's not negotiable. Then I'll go to my room. I walked away before they could stop me, closed the door and pressed my back against it. My body ached in ways that reminded me of every touch, every claim, every moment I'd begged them for more. But my mind was clearer now, and clarity brought questions I didn't have answers to. They'd saved Ethan. They'd taken care of me through my heat. They'd been gentle when they could have been rough, patient when they could have been demanding. But they'd also bought me like property, trapped me in a gilded cage, and now they were talking about forever, like it was inevitable. A knock on the door made me jump. Kieran, Dante's voice soft. Please let me in. I turned the lock, opened the door. He stood there alone, concern written across his features. Cade's on a call, he said. Business. I wanted to talk to you alone. About what? About why you're upset. He stepped inside, closed the door behind him. You're feeling rejected because we didn't bond you during your heat. I'm not. Don't lie to me. We can smell your emotions, remember? You're hurt. He moved closer, his hands gentle on my shoulders. We didn't bond you because we want it to mean something. Not just biology and heat, but actual choice. When we mark you, if we mark you, we want you to beg us for it with a clear head. You're so sure I will. Yes, no hesitation. Because you're already ours, Kieran. You just haven't admitted it to yourself yet. His confidence should have annoyed me. Instead, it made something warm unfurl in my chest. You're arrogant. I'm honest. His thumb brushed my jaw. And I'm patient. We have 6 months to prove we're more than the deal that brought you here. 6 months to show you what life could be like with us permanently. What if I still want to leave after 6 months? Pain flickered in his eyes. Then we let you go. With enough money to start over, take care of Ethan, build whatever life you want. He leaned in, his forehead touching mine. But we'll never stop wanting you back. The admission cracked something in my chest. This is insane. All of this. 3 weeks ago, I didn't know you existed. Now I'm living with you, sleeping with you, wearing your scent. 3 months ago, we didn't know you existed either. Then we saw you at that gallery and everything changed. His hands cupped my face. I know this happened fast. I know we pushed you into it with Ethan's life on the line. But what we feel for you, That's real. Not bought, not forced. Real. How can you know that? Because I've never felt this way about anyone. His voice dropped lower. Because when you were in heat, calling our names, begging us to fill you, I didn't just want to fuck you, Kieran. I wanted to keep you, protect you, make sure nothing ever hurt you again. The raw honesty in his voice made my throat tight. I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything. Just feel. He kissed me, soft and slow. Not demanding, just claiming. When he pulled back, his eyes were dark. Come out of this room, have dinner with us. Let us show you who we are when we're not in the middle of a heat. Okay, I whispered. He took my hand, led me out. Cade was in the kitchen now, cooking something that smelled incredible. He looked up when we entered, his expression softening when he saw our joined hands. You're staying, he said. For dinner at least. I'll take it. He turned back to the stove. Pasta. Dante's fancy shit makes me crazy. Sometimes you just need carbs. The domesticity of it was surreal. These two powerful alphas who ran half of Chicago's underground, who'd bought me and claimed me and turned my life upside down, they were making dinner like a normal couple. Set the table, Cade ordered. Make yourself useful. I found plates, silverware, glasses. Dante poured wine while I arranged everything. By the time Cade brought the food over, we'd fallen into an easy rhythm that felt practiced despite being brand new. The pasta was simple but perfect. We ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes before Cade spoke. We need to talk about the family business. My fork paused halfway to my mouth. What about it? You're living with us now. That makes you a target. He set down his own fork, his expression serious. There are people who'd love to use you against us. Rivals, enemies, ambitious cousins who think they should be running things instead of us. Is that why you wanted an Omega? Protection? No. Dante's hand found mine on the table. We wanted you for you. But the reality is, being with us comes with risks. We need you to understand that. What kind of risks? Cade leaned back in his chair. Kidnapping attempts, blackmail, violence if someone gets desperate enough. We have security, obviously. The penthouse is a fortress. But you need to be aware. My appetite disappeared. So I'm not just bought property, I'm also bait. You're ours, Dante corrected, which makes you the most valuable thing in our world. We'll protect you with everything we have. But we need you to be smart. Don't go anywhere alone. Don't trust anyone outside this penthouse. And if something feels wrong, you tell us immediately. The reality of what I'd agreed to was finally sinking in. This wasn't just 6 months of playing house with two wealthy alphas. This was dangerous, potentially deadly. I want to see Ethan, I said. As soon as possible. If something happens to me, I need to see him first. Nothing's going to happen to you. Cade's voice was steel. We won't allow it. You can't control everything. Watch us. He stood, moved behind my chair. His hands settled on my shoulders, possessive and grounding. We've been running this city since we were 22. We've survived attempts on our lives, hostile takeovers, family betrayals. We know how to protect what's ours. And I'm yours. Completely. His hands tightened. Which means anyone who tries to touch you will die screaming. We're not nice men, Kieran. We're not good, but we're loyal to the people we claim. You're at the top of that very short list now. The viciousness in his voice should have scared me. Instead, it made me feel safer than I had in years. These two men would burn the world down for me. They'd already proven it by saving Ethan. Okay, I said quietly. I'll be careful. I'll follow your rules. But I need something in return. Name it, Dante said immediately. I want to keep painting. I want to sell my work. I want to maintain some independence, some sense of who I was before all this. They exchanged another look. Then Cade nodded. The studio is yours. Paint whatever you want. We'll help you set up an online portfolio, handle sales through secure channels. But you use a pseudonym. No real name, no photos of you. We can't risk someone tracking you through your art. It was a compromise, not freedom, but not total imprisonment either. Deal. Good. Dante raised his wine glass. To new beginnings. Cade raised his. I lifted mine, the crystal catching the candlelight. To surviving the next 6 months, I said instead. They laughed, but I saw the determination in their eyes. They weren't planning on just 6 months. They were planning forever, whether I was ready for it or not. We finished dinner in better spirits. Cade cleared the dishes while Dante showed me how to work the sound system. Apparently, they had a music collection worth more than most people's cars. I picked something instrumental, jazz that filled the space without demanding attention. "Dance with me," Dante said, offering his hand. "I don't dance." "You do now." He pulled me close, one hand on my waist, the other holding mine. We swayed to the music, his body warm and solid against mine. Cade watched from the kitchen, his expression unreadable. When the song changed, he moved to us, fitting himself against my back, sandwiched between them again, surrounded by their scent and heat and possession. "This is our life now," Dante murmured. "The three of us, learning each other, building something together." "Something unconventional," I said. "Something ours," Cade corrected. "Fuck conventional. Conventional doesn't work for us." The music swelled. They held me tighter. And for the first time since walking into their penthouse, I let myself imagine what 6 months might actually look like. What forever might feel like if I stopped fighting and just let go. It terrified me. It also felt inevitable, like gravity, pulling me toward them no matter how hard I tried to resist. Like gravity, pulling me toward them no matter how hard I tried to resist. Dante's phone buzzed in his pocket, breaking the moment. He pulled it out, his expression shifting from soft to hard in an instant. "We need to take this." The music still played, but the warmth evaporated. Cade's hands tightened on my waist before he stepped back. "Go to your room, Kieran." "What's wrong?" "Business." His voice left no room for argument. "Now." I wanted to push back, demand answers, but something in their faces stopped me. This wasn't the playful possession from dinner. This was the dangerous side of them, the side that ran Chicago's underground. I went to my room, closed the door, but I could still hear their voices through the walls, low and urgent. I pressed my ear against the door connecting to Dante's room. "Don't care what he wants. Tell Uncle Marco the territory stays ours." Dante's voice cold and commanding. "He's not going to accept that." Cade's rougher tone. "He's been pushing boundaries since Dad died, testing us." Then we push back harder. A pause. "No, not yet. We need to be smart about this. If we move too fast..." Footsteps approaching my door made me jump back. The door opened. Cade stood there, his expression unreadable. "Eavesdropping? You told me to stay in my room. You didn't say I couldn't listen." His mouth curved despite the tension in his shoulders. "Smart ass." He moved inside, closed the door behind him. "How much did you hear?" "Enough to know someone named Marco is causing problems." He sighed, ran a hand through his hair. "Our uncle, Dad's brother. He thinks he should be running the family business instead of us. Been making moves, trying to undermine our authority." "Is he dangerous?" "Everyone in our world is dangerous." He moved closer, his hand cupping my face. "Which is why you need to be extra careful right now. Stay in the penthouse. Don't answer the door for anyone. If something feels wrong, you find us immediately." "You're scaring me." "Good. Fear keeps you alive." His thumb brushed my jaw. "We won't let anything happen to you, Kieran, but we need you to trust us. Can you do that?" I nodded, even though trust felt like a luxury I couldn't afford. "What happens now?" "Now we handle Marco." He leaned in, pressed a kiss to my forehead. "Stay here. Lock the door. We'll be back soon." "Where are you going?" "To have a conversation that you don't need to witness." His eyes were dark, predatory. "The less you know about some aspects of our business, the safer you are." He left before I could respond. I heard them both moving through the penthouse, the elevator doors opening and closing. Then silence. I was alone in a fortress 20 floors above Chicago, surrounded by luxury and locked doors, and the lingering scent of two alphas who owned me in ways I still didn't fully understand. I should have been terrified. Instead, I felt restless, caged. The studio called to me. I hadn't painted since before Ethan's collapse, hadn't felt inspired or energized enough to create. But now, with adrenaline and fear and confusion coursing through me, I needed to do something with my hands. The studio was dark, I flipped on the lights, flooding the space with bright white illumination. Blank canvases waited, paints organized by color, brushes of every size. I pulled out a large canvas, set it on the easel, grabbed paint without thinking. Blacks, grays, deep reds. My hands moved on instinct, creating without planning. Shapes emerge, shadows, two figures facing each other, mirror images, with something dangerous and beautiful between them. I painted until my shoulders ached, until the canvas was covered in layers of color and emotion I couldn't name. When I finally stepped back, I saw what I'd created. The twins, not realistic, but impressionistic, all sharp angles and dangerous beauty, and between them a smaller figure, vulnerable, caught, claimed. Me. That's haunting. I spun. Dante stood in the doorway, still wearing the same clothes but looking more disheveled. His knuckles were bruised. "You're back." I set down my brush. "What happened?" "We had our conversation with Marco." He moved into the room, eyes fixed on the painting. "He understands boundaries better now." "Your knuckles are bleeding." "Marco had bodyguards who disagreed with our terms. We convinced them otherwise." He turned to me and I saw it then. The darkness under the charm, the violence he was capable of. "Does that scare you, knowing what we do?" "It should, but it doesn't." Not a question. He moved closer, backing me against the table covered in paints. "You see us clearly, don't you? Not the polished version we show the world, the real us. I see two men who will do anything to protect what's theirs, including you." His hands bracketed me on either side, trapping me. "Especially you. Marco asked about you tonight. Asked if the rumors were true, that we'd bought ourselves a pretty omega to keep our bed warm." Anger flared hot in my chest. "What did you tell him?" "That you're ours. That anyone who so much as looks at you wrong will answer to both of us. That we'd burn this entire city down before letting someone touch what belongs to us." His hand came up, traced my jaw. "He didn't believe me. Thought we were bluffing. Thought you were just a temporary thing." "What changed his mind?" "Cade broke his lieutenant's arm when the man suggested you'd be better off with an alpha who could handle you alone." His eyes searched mine. "We don't share well with others, Kieran. We share with each other because we're two parts of the same whole. But anyone else who tries to stake a claim, they don't walk away." The possessiveness should have felt suffocating. Instead, it made me feel valued, protected, wanted in a way I'd never experienced. "Where's Cade?" "Cleaning up. He'll be back soon." Dante's hand slid to the back of my neck, pulling me closer. "I almost bonded you tonight. When Marco's man said those things about you, all I could think about was marking you so thoroughly that every alpha in Chicago would smell our claim from a mile away." "Why didn't you?" "Because I meant what I said earlier. When we bond you, it'll be your choice. Not made in anger or possessiveness, but because you want to belong to us permanently." His forehead pressed to mine. "Tell me you're starting to want that." I couldn't. The words stuck in my throat. Too honest, too raw. He kissed me instead, hard and demanding, claiming me with his mouth the way he couldn't with his teeth. I kissed him back, pouring all my confusion and fear and reluctant desire into it. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. "Paint more," he said, stepping back. "I like seeing how you process us. It's honest in a way words aren't." He left me alone in the studio, surrounded by evidence of how completely they'd invaded my psyche. I looked at the painting again. The two figures, the smaller one between them, caught or protected, trapped or cherished. Maybe it was both. I heard the elevator, Cade's voice greeting his brother, their footsteps moving through the penthouse, the sound of running water, one of them showering. I cleaned my brushes, put away the paints, left the canvas to dry. By the time I emerged from the studio, they were both in the living room. Cade's knuckles were bandaged. Dante had changed into clean clothes. "Come here," Cade said, patting the couch between them. I went. Let them pull me down. Arrange me between them like I belonged there. Their hands found me immediately. Dante's on my thigh, Cade's in my hair. "We need to tell you something," Dante said, "about Ethan." My heart stopped. "Is he okay? Did something happen?" "He's fine. Better than fine, actually. They're bringing him out of the coma tomorrow morning. He's going to wake up. Relief crashed through me so violently I couldn't breathe. Tomorrow? I can see him? We'll take you? Cade's hand tightened in my hair. But there are conditions. You don't tell him about us, about the deal. As far as he knows, you got a new job with better pay and benefits that covered his medical care. I have to lie to him? You have to protect him, Dante corrected. If he knows the truth, he becomes a target. Marco already knows about you. We can't risk him finding out about Ethan and using him as leverage. The logic made sense, even as it felt wrong. Ethan and I had never kept secrets from each other, but this wasn't just my secret. It was my survival. His survival. Okay, I agreed. I'll lie. Good. Cade pressed a kiss to my temple. We'll leave at 7. The hospital's running the procedure at 8. You'll be there when he wakes up. Emotion welled up in my chest. I'd been waiting for this moment for weeks, since the night I'd watched him collapse, since the ambulance ride, since the doctors told me he might never wake up. Tomorrow I'd see his eyes open, hear his voice, know that I'd made the right choice, even if that choice had cost me my freedom. Thank you, I whispered, for saving him. We told you we'd keep our promises. Dante's arm came around my shoulders. We take care of what's ours. That includes your brother, since he matters to you. We sat there in silence, the city glittering beyond the windows. 2 alphas and their bot Omega, pretending this was normal, pretending this could last. But normal didn't exist in their world, and lasting required more than possession. It required trust I wasn't sure I could give. Bed, Cade said eventually. Tomorrow's going to be emotional. You need rest. They walked me to my room, both of them lingering in the doorway. Do you want us to stay? Dante asked. We can sleep in here if you don't want to be alone. Part of me wanted to say yes, to fall asleep surrounded by their warmth and wake up knowing they were close. But I needed space to think, to process everything that had happened. I'm okay alone. Something flickered in Cade's expression. Disappointment, maybe. But he nodded. Door stays unlocked. If you need us, we're right across the hall. They left. I changed into sleep clothes, climbed into bed. The sheets still smelled like them, like us, like everything we'd done during my heat. Sleep was a long time coming. When it finally found me, my dreams were full of hospital corridors and Ethan's voice calling my name, and 2 alphas standing between me and the exit, asking me to stay. Morning came too early. Sunlight streamed through the windows. A knock on my door pulled me from uneasy sleep. Kieran, time to get up. Dante's voice gentle. I dragged myself out of bed, stumbled to the bathroom. The mirror showed someone I barely recognized, marks fading on my neck, shadows under my eyes, hair longer than I usually kept it. I looked claimed, owned. I looked like theirs. The shower helped clear my head. By the time I emerged, clothes were laid out on the bed. Jeans, a soft gray sweater, the leather jacket Cade had bought me. Comfortable but expensive. Nothing that screamed, bought Omega, but everything that marked me as belonging to wealth. They were waiting in the kitchen, both dressed casually but still radiating power. Cade handed me coffee the moment I appeared. Drink. You look dead on your feet. Couldn't sleep. We know. We heard you moving around. Dante set a plate in front of me. Eggs, toast, fruit. Eat. Then we go. I forced food down despite my stomach being in knots. Today I'd see Ethan. Today I'd have to lie to his face about how I was affording his care. Today I'd have to pretend everything was fine while wearing another man's scent. 2 men's scent. The drive to the hospital took 20 minutes. They'd brought security, 2 SUVs, one in front and one behind. The level of protection should have felt ridiculous. Instead, it reminded me how dangerous their world really was. We pulled up to the private entrance. Dr. Martinez was waiting, tablet in hand, looking pleased. Mr. Hayes, your timing's perfect. We're just about to begin the procedure to bring Ethan out of the coma. His eyes flicked to the twins, recognition and wariness crossing his features. Gentlemen. Doctor. Dante's hand found my lower back, possessive even here. We'll wait in the family lounge. Dr. Martinez led us through corridors that smelled like antiseptic and desperation. The family lounge was empty, thankfully, Private with a view of the city and comfortable furniture that couldn't disguise its purpose. A place for people to wait while their loved ones lived or died. "It'll take about an hour," Dr. Martinez said. "We'll come get you the moment he's conscious." Then he was gone, and I was alone with them. Cade pulled me down onto the couch beside him. "He's going to be fine." "You don't know that." "Yes, I do. He's a fighter, like you." His hand squeezed mine. "He's going to wake up, see your face, and know everything was worth it. Even though I sold myself to save him." "You didn't sell yourself. You made a choice. There's a difference." Dante sat on my other side. "He's going to have questions about where you've been, why you look different, who we are. Remember, new job, better benefits, we're friends who helped you out. Nothing more." I hate lying to him. "I know." His arm came around my shoulders. "But sometimes lies protect the people we love better than truth does." We waited. Minutes crawled by like hours. I couldn't sit still, couldn't stop my leg from bouncing, couldn't quiet the anxiety screaming through my veins. Finally, Dr. Martinez appeared in the doorway. His smile said everything. "He's awake, asking for you." I was on my feet before he finished speaking. The twins rose with me, flanking me like guards. "Just me," I said. "Please, let me see him alone first." They exchanged a look. Then Cade nodded. "We'll wait here, but if you need us..." "I know." I touched his hand briefly, then Dante's. "Thank you for all of this." I followed Dr. Martinez down another corridor, through double doors, into the ICU. Ethan's room was at the end. Through the window I could see him, sitting up slightly, tubes and wires still attached but eyes open. Alert, alive. I pushed through the door, his head turned, his face lit up. "Kieran?" His voice was rough, weak, but it was his voice. I crossed the room in 3 strides, pulled him into the gentlest hug I could manage around all the medical equipment. "You're awake. God, you're actually awake. What happened?" His arms came around me, shaking. "The last thing I remember is practice. Coach was running drills and then... nothing. You collapsed. Brain aneurysm. You've been in a coma for 3 weeks." 3 weeks? He pulled back, eyes wide. "Holy shit. How are we paying for all this? The doctors, the private room. I saw the equipment. I got a new job. Really good benefits. They covered everything." His eyes narrowed. "What kind of job?" "Art acquisition for a private collector. It pays really well." The lies tasted bitter. "I've been working with them for a few months. When you got sick, they helped me out." "Months? You never mentioned a new job." I didn't want to jinx it. I squeezed his hand. "The important thing is you're okay. You're going to recover fully. The doctors are optimistic." "Where have you been staying? You look..." He studied my face. "Different. Healthier, I guess. Less exhausted. The collectors gave me a place to stay while you were here. Closer to the hospital." More lies, each one adding to the weight on my chest. "Can I meet them? I should thank them for helping us. They're private people. They prefer to stay anonymous." I changed the subject before he could push. "How do you feel? Are you in pain?" "Sore. Confused. Tired." He leaned back against the pillows. "But alive. Thanks to you." Guilt twisted in my stomach. Thanks to me selling myself to 2 dangerous alphas. Thanks to me agreeing to 6 months of being their kept omega. Thanks to me giving up everything to save him. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. "Rest, son," I said. "I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere." "Promise?" "Promise." I stayed with him for 2 hours while he drifted in and out of sleep, while nurses checked vitals and doctors asked questions. When he finally fell into deeper sleep, Dr. Martinez gestured me outside. "He's doing remarkably well, better than we hoped. The experimental treatment worked better than projected. He should make a full recovery." "How long until he can go home?" 2 weeks, maybe 3. We want to monitor him, make sure there's no regression. But barring complications, he'll be discharged by mid-October. Relief made my knees weak. "Thank you for everything. Thank your benefactors." His eyes were knowing. "Whoever they are, they saved his life." I found the twins in the lounge exactly where I'd left them. They looked up when I entered, identical expressions of concern. "How is he?" Dante asked. "Awake. Talking. Himself." I sank onto the couch between them. "He asked about you. I lied. Said you were anonymous benefactors who wanted privacy." "Good." Cade's arm came around me. "That's safest for everyone. He's going to be discharged in 2 or 3 weeks. He'll need somewhere to stay while he recovers." They exchanged another look. "He can stay with us," Dante said. "We have guest rooms. He'll have everything he needs." "I can't ask you to." "You're not asking. We're offering." His hand found mine. "He's your family. That makes him our responsibility now too." The generosity should have made me grateful. Instead, it made me feel more trapped, more indebted, more owned. "What's wrong?" Cade's hand tilted my face toward him. "You should be happy. He's awake. He's recovering." "I am happy. I struggled for words. This isn't how I wanted my life to go. Any of this. Life rarely goes how we plan. Dante stood, pulled me up with him. But sometimes the detours lead somewhere better than the original destination. Is that what you think this is? Better? For us? Absolutely. Cade moved to my other side. For you, that's what the next 6 months are about. Figuring out if this arrangement becomes something more. We left the hospital surrounded by security, climbed back into the SUV. The drive home was quiet. I stared out the window watching Chicago pass by, thinking about Ethan's face when he saw me, the lies I'd told, the life I was living now. Back at the penthouse, they gave me space. I went to the studio, pulled out a fresh canvas, started painting without thinking, Ethan's face, the hospital room, the weight of secrets. Hours passed. The light changed. Shadows stretched across the floor. "Dinner's ready?" I turned. Dante stood in the doorway, leaning against the frame. "I'm not hungry." "Eat anyway. You barely touched breakfast." He moved into the room, looked at what I'd created. "He looks like you. Same eyes." "He's all I have left of my family." "No." Dante's hand settled on my shoulder. "He's not all you have. You have us now, too. For 6 months. Or longer. If you choose it." He turned me to face him. "I know this isn't what you planned. I know you feel trapped, obligated, owned. But somewhere in the last few weeks, this stopped being just a transaction for us. We meant it when we said we want you permanently. You don't know me well enough for that. We know enough. We know you're loyal, strong, talented, fierce when protecting what you love. We know you taste like salvation and sound like prayer when we're inside you. We know your scent drives us crazy, and your art makes us feel things we didn't know we were capable of." His hands cupped my face. "That's enough. The rest we'll learn together." "What if I still want to leave?" Pain flickered in his eyes. "Then we'll honor our deal. But I don't think you will. I think you're already ours, Kieran. You're just too scared to admit it." He kissed me before I could respond. Soft, persuasive, full of promises I wasn't sure I believed. When he pulled back, Cade was there too, both of them surrounding me, claiming me without words. "Come eat," Cade said. "Tomorrow we'll visit Ethan again. Tonight, let us take care of you." I let them lead me out of the studio, back into their world. Let them feed me and touch me and hold me like I was something precious. Let myself pretend, just for tonight, that this could actually work, that 6 months might turn into forever, that being theirs wasn't imprisonment, it was freedom of a different kind. The next 3 weeks blurred together. Days spent at the hospital with Ethan, watching him grow stronger. Nights spent in the penthouse with the twins, learning the rhythm of their lives. My heat came again, briefer this time, and they took care of me with the same intensity as before. They still didn't bond me, still waiting for me to choose it. Ethan was discharged on a Thursday. The twins converted one of their guest rooms into a recovery suite. Hospital bed, physical therapy equipment, everything he'd need. He moved in with wide eyes and questions I deflected. "This is where you've been staying?" He looked around the penthouse like he couldn't process the wealth. "These collectors must really value your work." "They do," Dante said smoothly, appearing with fresh towels. "Your brother has exceptional talent. We're lucky to have him." Ethan's eyes narrowed slightly, looking between me and the twins. I could see him processing, calculating. He was too smart not to sense something was off. "So you both collect art?" he asked. "Among other things." Cade joined us, arms crossed. "We invest in things of value. Your brother qualifies." The double meaning wasn't lost on me. I shot Cade a warning look. He smiled innocently. Over the following days, Ethan recovered rapidly. Physical therapy 3 times a week, strength returning. By the end of the month, he was walking without assistance, laughing at shows in the entertainment room, eating meals with us like this was normal. But he watched, noticed how the twins touched me constantly, how I responded to their presence, their scent, their commands disguised as suggestions, how we moved around each other like a unit. He cornered me one afternoon while they were at a meeting. "Kieran, we need to talk." I knew this was coming. About what? About them. About why you smell like alpha. Why they look at you like you're theirs. Why you're really here. No point lying now. He'd figured it out. They saved your life. When insurance wouldn't cover your treatment, they paid for everything. In exchange, I agreed to stay with them for 6 months. His face went pale. "You sold yourself. For me. I made a choice. Same as Mom did when she worked 3 jobs to keep us fed. That's different. She wasn't..." He struggled for words. "They own you. They take care of me. There's a difference." "Is there?" His hands clenched. "You're sleeping with both of them, living in their house, wearing their scent. That's not taking care of you. That's possession." "Maybe." I met his eyes. "But I'm alive. You're alive. That's what matters." "For how long?" "What happens when 6 months is up and they decide they're not done with you?" "Then I decide if I want to stay." The admission surprised us both. Ethan stared at me. "You're actually considering staying, permanently?" "I don't know what I'm considering. I just know it's more complicated than you think. They're dangerous men, Kieran. I've been doing research. The Moretti family isn't just wealthy. They're criminals. They run half the illegal operations in Chicago. I know what they are. And you're okay with that?" Was I? A month ago, the answer would have been no. Now, after seeing how they protected me, cared for me, valued me in ways no one else ever had, I wasn't sure. "I'm okay with being alive," I said finally. "I'm okay with you being alive. Everything else is just details." Before he could respond, the elevator opened. The twins returned, both stopping when they saw us. "Everything okay?" Dante's eyes tracked between us, reading the tension. "Fine," Ethan said, but his voice was cold. "I was just telling my brother that he deserves better than being someone's bought omega." Cade's expression went dangerous. "Careful, kid. You're alive because of us. Don't forget that." "I haven't forgotten. That's the problem. You used his love for me against him, trapped him in a deal he couldn't refuse." "Ethan," I started. "No," he turned to me. "I love you. You're all the family I have. But I won't watch you destroy yourself for me. If staying here is the price of my life, then maybe..." "Don't!" My voice came out harsh. "Don't you dare finish that sentence. I chose this. Me, not them, not you. Me, and I'd do it again." Silence fell, heavy, suffocating. Finally, Dante spoke. "Ethan, I understand your anger. If I had a brother and someone put him in this position, I'd want to kill them. But the reality is, we saved both of you. And yes, we asked for something in return. That's how our world works. Nothing is free." "But it doesn't have to stay a transaction," Cade added. "We care about your brother. Actually care, not just as property. If he chooses to leave when 6 months is up, we'll let him go. With money, protection, everything he needs to start over. But if he chooses to stay, then he stays because he wants to, not because he's trapped." Dante moved to my side. "We're not monsters, Ethan. We're men who want your brother in our lives permanently, but only if he wants that too." Ethan looked at me. "Do you want that?" The question hung in the air. 3 months ago, the answer would have been obvious. Now, with their scent on my skin, their marks fading on my body, their presence woven into every part of my life, I didn't know. "I don't know yet," I admitted. Ask me in 3 months. It wasn't the answer anyone wanted, but it was honest. Ethan nodded slowly. Okay, 3 months, but if they hurt you, if they cross a line, then I'll leave, and they'll let me go. Right? I looked at the twins. Right, they said in unison. The tension eased slightly. Not gone, but manageable. Ethan went back to his room. The twins and I stood in the living room, the weight of the conversation settling around us. He's protective, Dante said. I respect that. He's scared I'm losing myself to you, I corrected. He might be right. Cade's hand found my jaw, tilted my face toward him. You're not losing yourself. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. Ours. That's what scares me most. How good it feels to belong to you. Then stop fighting it. His thumb brushed my lower lip. 3 months left on our deal. Let us spend it proving we're worth staying for. Dante's arms came around me from behind. We'll make it impossible for you to leave, Kieran. Not with force or obligation, with devotion. We'll worship you so thoroughly you'll forget there was ever a time before us. They were right. That's exactly what scared me. Because somewhere between the desperate deal and the heat and the quiet moments between chaos, I'd started falling for them. Both of them. And I had no idea how to stop. Okay, I whispered. 3 months, show me. They did. Every day for the next 12 weeks, they showed me what life could be like permanently. They took me to museums and private dinners and underground clubs where Chicago's elite played. They defended me from Marco's continued attempts to undermine them. They held me through nightmares and celebrated when I sold my first painting under my pseudonym. They made love to me like I was precious and fucked me like I was theirs and never let me forget I was both. Ethan slowly warmed to them. Saw how they treated me, how they protected both of us, how they'd integrated us into their dangerous world while keeping us as safe as possible. My next heat came and went. They still didn't bond me, still waiting. The 6-month mark approached like a deadline and a promise. 3 days before, Cade found me in the studio. We need to talk. I set down my brush. About what happens next. Your contract is up in 72 hours. We need to know if you're staying or leaving. You said I had 3 more days. You do, but we need to prepare either way. If you're leaving, we'll set up accounts, security, make sure you and Ethan are taken care of. If you're staying, he moved closer. If you're staying, we're bonding you, permanently. No more half measures. My heart hammered. That's a big decision. You've had 6 months to think about it. What's your answer, Kieran? I don't know yet. He studied my face. Yes, you do. You're just scared to say it. He was right. I'd known for weeks what my answer would be. I'd just been too terrified to admit it. I want to stay, I whispered. God help me, I want to stay. His smile was fierce, triumphant. Then you will, tomorrow night. Your heat should start in the next 24 hours. When it does, we're claiming you completely. Both of us. Bonding bites, mating marks, everything. You'll be ours officially. What if I change my mind? You won't. He pulled me against him. Because you already chose us, Kieran. Your body, your heart, your soul. They all know where you belong. Your mind just needed time to catch up. He kissed me, claiming and promise wrapped together. When he pulled back, his eyes were dark with intent. Tomorrow night, everything changes. Be ready. He left me in the studio, surrounded by paintings of them, of us, of the life I'd built in their world. Ethan found me an hour later. You're staying, he said, not a question. Yeah, I'm staying. He was quiet for a long moment. Are you happy? Was I? 6 months ago, happiness felt impossible. Now standing in a studio they'd given me, wearing clothes they'd bought me, carrying their scent like a badge of honor, I realized something. Yeah, I said. I actually am. He hugged me tight. Then I'm happy for you, even if they're dangerous criminals who technically bought you. I laughed despite myself. They did not buy me. They absolutely did, but I guess it worked out okay. He pulled back, eyes serious. They hurt you, I'll kill them. I don't care how powerful they are. Deal. That night, the three of us ate dinner together. The twins told me their plans for tomorrow. Dinner at an exclusive restaurant, then back here for my heat. They talked about the bonding like it was inevitable. Decided, already done. Maybe it was. We went to bed early. Not to sleep, but to be close. They held me between them, hands gentle, mouths soft, worshipping rather than claiming. Tomorrow you're ours forever, Dante murmured against my neck. No more contracts, no more negotiations. Just us, bound together permanently. Are you scared? Cade asked. Terrified, I admitted. But also ready. Good. His hand found mine, squeezed. Because we're never letting you go, Kieran. Not in this life or any other. You're ours. Finally, completely, permanently ours. I fell asleep between them, their scent surrounding me, their promises echoing in my mind. Tomorrow everything would change. Tomorrow the bot Omega would become the bonded mate. Tomorrow 6 months of pretending would become forever of choosing. And for the first time since walking into that penthouse, I wasn't afraid of forever. I was ready for it. The end. Thank you for watching. Boy Love loves you. Hit subscribe for more.